These 8 advanced English words will lift your fluency and your IELTS, TOEFL, or Cambridge score, and you won't just memorize them. You'll meet each one inside the story, feel what it means, then prove you caught it. That's how your brain keeps them for good. In the new courts, they no longer needed witnesses. They simply played the dead woman's final memory to the jury and watched her killer's face appear. Everyone in the room knew, beyond all doubt, that Daniel Frost was guilty. Everyone except his lawyer. The technology was called recall. When a person died violently, their last minutes of memory could sometimes be drawn from the brain and replayed, a film shot through the victim's own eyes. The courts called it infallible, evidence at last that could not lie. Elise Marsh had been killed in her home, in the dark, a year before. Now her final memory played on the great screen above the court. A shadow at the door, a struggle, and then, for one terrible instant, the face of the man who killed her. It was Daniel Frost, her ex-partner, the man she held a court order against, the man who had once, in a fury, threatened her life. The case was compelling, the most compelling and most plausible evidence ever shown in a court of law, the victim's own eyes naming her killer. The jury presumed Frost guilty before he had said a single word. His lawyer, Nadia Rowe, did not. She believed in the technology, but she did not believe the one thing everyone else had forgotten to question, that a memory and the truth are the very same thing. For weeks, Nadia studied the recording frame by frame, and slowly she found the flaw. It was not a flaw in the machine. The machine had recorded Elise's memory perfectly, exactly as it was. The problem lay in the memory itself. Because human memory is not a camera. It is a story the brain tells, and under terror in the dark, the dying mind does something strange. It fills the gaps in what it saw with what it most expects to see. Nadia built her case around a single subjective truth that the court had treated as objective fact. The light in that hallway, on that night, had been almost none. The science was clear. In such darkness, no human eye could have resolved a face in real detail at all. And yet Elise's memory showed a face in perfect, vivid detail, the face of the one man on earth she was most afraid of. Her terrified brain, attacked by a stranger it could barely see, had reached for the face of her deepest fear and painted it over the dark. It was not a lie. Elise had not lied. In her last moment, she had truly, sincerely believed she saw Daniel Frost. Her memory was honest. It was simply, fatally, subjective, and therefore wrong. Nadia proved it with a detail the brain had missed. Elise's memory showed the killer reaching with his right hand, but Daniel Frost's right arm had been in a cast for 6 weeks. He could not have raised it at all. The memory had given the attacker Frost's face, yet not his broken arm, because Elise had never known about the cast. The mind can only ever invent what it already believes. The court fell silent. The infallible evidence had a hole in it that no machine could have caught, only a human who understood that perception is not proof. It was the hole that would exonerate Daniel Frost. He was exonerated. He walked free, a man the whole world had presumed a murderer on the word of a memory that had genuinely meant to tell the truth. Months later, a burglar was caught for a string of break-ins on Elise's street. He confessed to her killing too. He was a stranger. He had never once met her. In the dark, his face had been nothing to her but a shadow, until her own frightened mind had given it a name. The technology they had called infallible was quietly suspended. Nadia had shown the courts a truth far older than any machine, that the most compelling evidence of all can be a perfectly honest, perfectly sincere mistake. Daniel Frost's innocence had been hidden inside the very memory that accused him. It had always been there, in a broken arm and a darkened room. They had simply needed someone willing to presume nothing, and to remember that a story told by a terrified mind, however vivid, is not the same as the truth. Nadia had not doubted the dead woman. She had only understood her, and so she had proved an innocent man's innocence, and reminded a careless world that certainty is the most plausible lie there is. Now, did you catch all 8? Let's find out. A noun for a hidden fault or weakness. It's the small crack that can bring down a whole strong wall. Nadia hunted for weeks until she found the one in the case. She finally spotted the fatal what in the perfect evidence. The word is flaw. A tiny flaw in the design caused the bridge to collapse. A verb meaning to suppose something is true without real proof. It's assuming an answer before you have checked the facts. The whole jury did this about Frost before he could even speak. They were quick to do what? To assume the accused man was guilty?
The word is prɪഃzum.
I presume you've already heard the surprising news? A noun for freedom from guilt, the state of being not guilty. It's what a court must protect until guilt is truly proven. Nadia fought to prove Frost's against impossible evidence. The truth of his what was hidden inside the memory itself.
The word is innocence.
The new evidence finally established the prisoner's innocence. An adjective for being powerfully convincing. Think of an argument so strong that you cannot look away from it. The victim's own memory made the case feel utterly this. The evidence was the most what a court had ever seen.
The word is compelling.
She made a compelling case for changing the old law. An adjective for seeming reasonable or believable. It's an explanation that sounds right, whether or not it is true. The case against Frost looked completely this, and certain. His guilt seemed perfectly what? Until Nadia found the flaw.
The word is plausible.
His excuse sounded plausible, so we chose to believe it. An adjective for being based on personal feeling, not on fact. It's a view shaped by who you are, not by objective truth. Nadia argued the perfect memory was actually only this. A memory, she showed, is a deeply what kind of thing?
The word is subjective.
Beauty is subjective. Everyone sees it a little differently. An adjective for being incapable of ever being wrong. Think of a system everyone trusts to never, ever make a mistake. The courts wrongly believed the new memory technology was this. The evidence was treated as what, right up until it wasn't?
The word is infallible.
No expert, however brilliant, is completely infallible. A verb meaning to officially clear someone of blame. It's proving that an accused person is not guilty after all. The hidden flaw in the memory finally did this for Frost. The broken arm detail was enough to do what? To clear the innocent man?
The word is exonerate.
Fresh DNA evidence helped to exonerate the wrongly jailed man. Quick recap. How many do you still remember?
Flaw. Prɪഃzum. Eligible. Innocence. Compelling. Plausible. Subjective. Infallible. Exonerate.
A new English story every day. Subscribe and learn advanced words the way your brain actually keeps them. Inside a story you won't forget.